नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवाय मुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavat Gita as it is, Chapter 1, entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kuruksetra. Text 1. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta-yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Translation. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kuruksetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading the verse one more time. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta-yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. So, this first verse of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita, Srila Prabhupada very beautifully writes in the purport that this Bhagavad Gita is such a wonderful, amazing science that readers, Srila Prabhupada is saying, that the readers will find some things that are mentioned in other revealed scriptures, but the uniqueness of the Gita is that readers will also find things that are not mentioned in other revealed scriptures. That is the uniqueness of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And the best part of this Bhagavad Gita rendition by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, is that Srila Prabhupada has given us these illuminating Bhaktivedanta purports to each of these deep verses spoken by Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita is basically a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and it is a conversation in the form of question and answers. Arjuna is the one who is asking the questions, and Krishna is giving the answers. And this entire conversation between Arjuna and Krishna is being narrated to Dhritarashtra by his charioteer and friend Sanjaya. So this is the setting of the scene. We need to understand how the Bhagavad Gita was actually spoken. And we all know that Dhritarashtra, the Kauravas, and Dhritarashtra was from the Kuru dynasty, and that's why they were called as the Kauravas. And even the Pandavas, they are also, Kauravas technically. They are actually also, because they belong to the Kuru dynasty as well, because Dhritarashtra's brother is Pandu, and the sons of Pandu are the Pandavas. But here, to distinguish between both the parties, they have been used the names as the Pandavas and Kauravas. Kauravas specifically meaning here in this scenario, in the scenario of the Bhagavad Gita, they are referred to as the sons of Dhritarashtra. They are specifically called as the Kauravas. So Dhritarashtra, we all know, was born blind, and since he was born blind, he actually had, we all know the history of the Mahabharata, but I will just give a brief gist of the Mahabharata, what led to the battle of Kuruksetra, that Dhritarashtra was born blind, and he had his brother Pandu, who was younger to Dhritarashtra, but because Pandu was, not, less in any physical features like Dhritarashtra, who was born blind. So therefore Dhritarashtra, although he was the elder son, was denied the throne. That his younger brother Pandu was given the throne because he was more capable. And this was not very much liked by Dhritarashtra. He was very upset that, the throne was passed on to his younger brother just because he was born blind. And later on, when Pandu got married to Kunti and to Madri, and then when Dhritarashtra got married to Gandhari, there was a competition that who would have the first child. And it was seen that Pandu actually had the first son. Yudhishthir was the firstborn child of the Kuru dynasty. And then Bhima and Duryodhana came to be of the same age. And then subsequently, Duryodhana had 100 brothers, including himself, and one sister was Dushala. And the Pandavas were the 5 brothers, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahadev. So when they were young, we all know how Pandu and Madri, they were killed. They had an untimely death. And then Kunti, with her 5 sons, she came back to the palace of Maharaj Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra was very disturbed seeing these 5 sons because they were very valiant. They were very, very valiant sons of, the demigods, actually. From Yudhishthir was the son of Dharmaraj. And Bhima was the son of Vayudev, Pavandev, the wind god. And Arjuna was the son of Indra. And Nakul and Sahadev were the sons of the Ashwini Kumaras. So they were the sons of demigods, actually. So they were very, very valiant, very powerful, very bright, very effulgent, very, very, very strong. But as compared to the sons of Dhritarashtra, they were first of all not so much righteous, but at the same time they were always, filled with negativity for the Pandavas. They were always in very bad negative kind of a competition with the Pandavas. And from childhood they were poisoned Because Dhritarashtra, till this point, till they were like around 10, 11 years old, he was actually bringing up Duryodhan by saying that you're going to be the next king. And Dhritarashtra was always telling this to Duryodhana. But when Yudhishthir Maharaj and the other boys came in, then Yudhishthir naturally became the crown prince. He was, he became the crown prince, and again Dhritarashtra did not like it, and definitely Duryodhana also did not like it. So from the very beginning, there was always a tussle between the two parties, and there was lot of atrocities that were done by the sons of Dhritarashtra to the Pandavas, the five brothers. Bhima was poisoned when he was a child, and then later on they were actually they were sent to one particular place where they were sent to a palace of lac, which was burnt down. And then they went into, some years of incognito. Then they got married to Draupadi, and they came back to the palace. And then, Maharaj Dhritarashtra had already crowned Duryodhan as the crown prince, because the word had spread that the five Pandavas were actually killed in the palace of lac. And therefore Duryodhan was very happily crowned as the crown prince by Dhritarashtra. But when the Pandavas came back with Draupadi and more powerful, that time Bhishma Pitama, the grandsire, the eldest of the Kuru dynasty, he actually suggested, so that there is peace amongst both families, he suggested that there should be a partition of the kingdom, that the Pandavas could be given half the kingdom, and Duryodhan could be taking care of half the kingdom. So Duryodhan got Hastinapur, which was already the developed land, and the Pandavas were given the Khandav Prastha. Khandav Prastha was, as the name suggests, it was a rundown place. There was nothing over there, but by the mercy of Krishna, the Pandavas transformed Khandav Prastha to Indraprastha. And then the sovereignty of the Pandavas started growing, and then they started becoming very powerful emperors. And at that time, Duryodhan couldn't again tolerate that, and then he invited them to that fateful gambling match, and then usurped their kingdom, and then exiled them to the forest after insulting Draupadi. So all of this had happened. And then when the Pandavas were leading the 12 years of exile and the 13th year of incognito, Arjuna had actually, they were all in incognito, but then after finishing their year of exile and everything, they came back to rightfully claim their Indraprastha. They did not even claim Hastinapur. But then Duryodhan refused to give, and then Krishna went as the peace messenger, as Shantidut, and he came to ask Duryodhan that please return the Pandavas their kingdom, because they came back after their conditions fulfilled, so they should be given their kingdom back. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, they were not willing to give anything. Then Krishna finally said, okay, don't give them Indraprastha, give them 5 small villages, because they are Kshatriyas, they need to, rule over. So they just give them 5 small villages from Hastinapur. And Duryodhan very, very proudly, very arrogantly, he said that he would not give them as much land that would fit through the eye of a needle. That was the pride and arrogance of Duryodhan. Hearing which also Dhritarashtra was not in a position to tell or chastise his son that what you're doing is wrong. And he was, very, very attached to his son. So therefore Dhritarashtra was not able to tell Duryodhana that what he was doing is wrong, and he kept quiet. And because of that, that's what led to this particular scenario, where both the armies on either side assembled on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. And the reason why Kuruksetra was chosen was that was the place that was nearest to Delhi, and it was this open, huge space where they could have battle, and it was not so populated, so that the regular people, the citizens, would not get affected by the war. It was almost like the outskirts. Kuruksetra was not so populated that time. So that is the reason why they chose this place. And when the two armies went off to Kuruksetra to fight, the different kings and the different actually the kings of different kingdoms, they actually chose which party they would like to fight from. Maharaj Drupada came, Shalva, different kingdoms, all of them came, forward, and then they chose their side, whether they wanted to be on the side of the Pandavas or whether they wanted to be on the side of the Kauravas. In the meanwhile, because Dhritarashtra was left alone in the palace with, blind, Vyasadev, he visited the palace one day, and he told Dhritarashtra that, my dear king, if you want that I can give you special vision so that sitting here in this palace, you can actually see what is going on the battlefield of Kuruksetra, I can give you that potency. So Dhritarashtra actually said to Vyasadev that I don't want to see myself, I myself don't want to see and witness, this ghastly warfare, because Dhritarashtra, in his heart of hearts, he knew that what his sons were doing was wrong. And what the outcome of the battle would be, he knew that very well. But because he was so attached, he said that he can't see his sons being killed. But rather what he told to Vyasadev was that I cannot see either, any harm being done to either my sons or to my brother's sons, to the sons of Pandu. I cannot see them being harmed directly with my own eyes. So therefore, Vyasadev, if you want to give vision, this kind of a transcendental vision, then I request you to give that vision to my Sarathi, to my charioteer, Sanjaya. Please give it to him, so that while sitting here in this palace, Sanjaya can narrate to me what is going on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. So therefore, Sanjaya was given this benediction by Vyasadev that while sitting in the palace in Hastinapur, Sanjaya could see what was going on. With his bare vision, Sanjaya could see what is going on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. So therefore, this brings us to this first verse of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kuruksetra, where Dhritarashtra is inquiring of his secretary and friend, Sanjaya, that, my dear Sanjaya, what did the sons of Pandu and my sons assembled in the place of pilgrimage, desiring to fight, what did they do? What happened? And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport many, many deep points, which I will now want to narrate to all of you. And this is also combined from the book Surrender Unto Me, which is the overview of the Bhagavad Gita written by His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu, the glorious disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He has given his commentary on this Bhagavad Gita. So I will combine from both of these books and, try to share with all of you some of the, deeply hidden aspects of this particular verse. So the first line says, Dharma Kshetre Kuruksetre. In Kuruksetra, everybody knows, even Dhritarashtra knew that it was a place of pilgrimage. It was a Dharma Kshetra. And being a Dharma Kshetra, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Dhritarashtra knew one point that he was afraid in his heart because he knew that his sons are not so righteous, that they are not the followers of Dharma. So he knew that this place would have a positive outcome for the Pandavas, who were by nature very righteous. They were the followers and the upholders of dharma. So that is why Dhritarashtra, he was very, very doubtful from the very beginning, that he knew that this place also was going to negatively influence his sons on the outcome of the battle. So that is why he is using the word dharma kshetre. That, oh Sanjaya, I know, sometimes when, like when we go to the dentist, for our son or for our daughter, for our children, when we go to the dentist, we know that our children have been eating a lot of candy. We know that very well. And we still hope against hope by asking the dentist, my dear doctor, do you think, is the extraction of my child's tooth really necessary? Or please try to do it with as much less pain as possible, because, we know that we don't want our children to suffer. That is the main idea. So that is the same situation that Dhritarashtra is in. Dhritarashtra is also so attached to his son Duryodhana. He knows that what Duryodhana has been doing is wrong, and that this place that he is in Kuruksetra, will have a negative influence on Duryodhana. And it will positively influence the sons of Pandu, the Pandavas. He knows that very well, but still he's hoping against hope. And he's asking Sanjaya that after my sons and the sons of Pandu, at this point, it is explained by Bhurijan Prabhu as well as Srila Prabhupada, he is now clearly distinguishing between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. He is very nicely passing on the family lineage to just his sons. And he's separating the Pandavas by calling them the sons of Pandu. He is keeping only his sons with the family lineage, calling them as Kauravas. This is, Srila Prabhupada is saying how much selfish was Dhritarashtra, that he was only concerned for his own sons and not thinking for the well-being of anybody else. That is how much the materialistic people are. Because materialistic people, that's what they do. They are only concerned about I, me, myself, and what is my extended family relationships, which is my wife, my son, my daughter. That's all they are concerned with. They can feel that let the entire world go down the drain, but me and my family, my immediate family, should be always taken care of, should be in good condition always. So that is how materialistic people think, and that is what Dhritarashtra here is talking about. That he very conveniently separated the Pandavas from the family lineage by calling his sons the sons of the Kurus or the Kauravas. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, my sons, the Kauravas, and the sons of Pandu. When they assembled on this battlefield, what did they do? So this is what is talked here in this first verse of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita, and I'd like to end the talk today by sharing one very nice realization, that you can notice that the first verse starts with dha, dharma kshetre. It starts with dha. And the last verse of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita ends with mama, which is text 78 of the 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita, which is the last verse, which is of the Srimad Bhagavat Gita. It ends with mama, which is the entire verse is Sanjaya is saying this, that yatra yogeshwara Krishna, yatra partha dhanurdhara, tatra shri vijayo bhutir, dhruva nitir matir mama. He's saying that wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. That is my opinion. So here Sanjaya is kind of answering the first question that Dhritarashtra is asking. That what did they do? And this is the conclusion that Sanjaya is giving, that wherever the master of all mystics, Krishna, is there, and wherever Arjuna, the supremost archer, is there will always be Shri and Vijaya. There will always be victory and morality. So Sanjaya is kind of giving the conclusion of the entire battle to Dhritarashtra at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, where the battle has not even officially begun, but Dhritarashtra is given the conclusion already by Sanjaya at the end of the Gita. But a point to note is that the first verse, as I said, starts with Dharma Kshetre, and the last verse, the last line of the last words ends with Mama. It ends with Ma. So it is explained that whatever is in between Dha and Ma within this 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, that is Dharma. That is our prescribed duty. So the Bhagavad Gita actually is teaching us how to lead a nice God-centered life, even though these teachings are 5,000 years old, but how we can practically apply the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day life. That is what we are going to try and study in a very systematic way in these sessions together. So I will end here. If there's any questions, comments, reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, this is Jagadi. The verse you are reading, like each week, so that one you told me some reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can we get that print out, or is this a separate book, like the Prabhupada has his Bhagavad Gita as it is?
If you just follow the Bhagavad Gita as it is, while we are reading one verse after the other, if you just follow from Bhagavad Gita as it is and read the purport also, that should be good enough.
Okay.
And if you want the extra guide, this book is called Surrender Unto Me. It is an overview of the Bhagavad Gita by Bhurijan Prabhu. It can be ordered from Krishna.com.
Okay. Mataji, thank you for very nice class. I have one, may not be question. You mentioned Bhagavad Gita starts with Da and ends with Ma.
Mm-hmm.
Dhamma, in between is what given is Dharma for us to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Dhamma is also a Sanskrit word, right? Meaning patience or something. Please correct me if I'm...
Yeah, this is Dha. It is Dhar, DH, which is Dharma. So Dhamma, Shama Dhamma is, Dhamma means to, Dhamma is to curtail, means, like tolerance, basically. Dhamma means to tolerate. So that is D-A-M-A. That is Dhamma means to tolerate.
Okay. And this one is with
D-H, Dharma.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. My glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hi, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Hari Bol.
Dying to hear your voice.
I've been dying to hear yours. How are you? Very nice. Very nice to hear you.
I just one question. So, Mataji, somebody actually asked me and I wasn't able to answer properly.
Mm-hmm.
But why Dhritarashtra? Because the word Duryodhan, the name itself, the meaning itself is not good. So why any parent will name their child as Duryodhan?
Duryodhan, Dushasana, these are names that are, I think they can, even KK, these names are actually not repeated. Everyone we see, there are names like Kaushalya, Sumitra, these are all very common names, but Duryodhan, Dushasan, Kaikeyi, these names are never to be repeated again. You never see a child being named Duryodhan.
No.
The reason why he was named Duryodhan, actually he was given this name by, Vyasadeva.
Okay.
These names were given by the sages. Those days it is not that the parents choose the name so much. They actually undergo an entire ceremony. And, Vyasadeva and the different other sages, they were the ones who actually gave the name based on, after studying the astrological chart, after studying all the details, which, nowadays no parent does that. They just see some, basic things, and then, they get the first letter, and then they just pick some name and put that. But previously, the names that were actually kept were not so much by the parents, especially in the case of, the Pandavas or Duryodhan and the Kauravas. It was always done by the sages after they actually studied the entire horoscope of the child's astrological chart and everything. And they can see these sages are Trikaldarshis. So when they see that, okay, this child is, destined for these things, that's how they give the name.
Mm-hmm.
They chose those names specifically because they are meant to, fit their character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yudhishthir, he is always steady in battle. Bhima, the powerful one, things like that. So Dushasana, it means that, how much of a shasan you do, he will never be, he will never listen to any kind of discipline. He'll never listen to any kind of elders. That is the meaning of Dushasana. So that is true of Dushasana. Duryodhan also the same thing,
And the exact meaning of Duryodhan?
Pardon me?
What is the exact meaning of the word Duryodhan?
I actually would not be able to say what the exact meaning is. Because it's the unconquerable warrior. I don't know.
I feel that Duryodhan is from Duryodhan.
I really don't know. But, these names, in Sanskrit, we all know how different words have, the same word can have different meanings. So I really don't know what Duryodhan literally means, but definitely whatever the sages saw fit to his character, they put that name for him, suitable for him. But the reason why such names are not repeated, by anybody, even though you can never find any girl named Kaikeyi. It's not to be seen, because these are people, or any boy named Ravana, or any boy named after a demon. No. Why? Because these are villains. We don't want our children to be named after villains, So that's why these names are never repeated again. But the reason why they were kept in the first place was that because they were kept not by the choice of the parents, but by studying the astrological chart of the child. The sages kept the names of these different, personalities. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji.
Haribo, Kamudiki Mataji, Haribo.
Can I say something?
Please go ahead.
Yes, there are two words, Du and Yodha. Yodha means a warrior, and Du, this is not good. Like in Sukarma and Duskarma. So, good karma, and Duskarma is bad karma. So even though he's a very, very nice warrior to fight, but he doesn't follow the principles by in a war they also have principles to fight.
Correct.
Into the code, he doesn't do that.
Wonderful point. Yes. There you go, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. All glories to Kaumudiki Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji. You gave me this opportunity to say something what I have heard.
Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Jyoti. Actually, the Duryodhan's name is, the actual name is Suryodhana, right? Then he changed to Duryodhana. Is that true? Or
I have not heard that. I don't have any proper authority to say, because I've never heard that or never read that in the Mahabharata.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, it was a wonderful class, but I had a question. It's not from this class, but from outside. My Prabhu had asked me this question, that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he comes down to give association to his devotees. Yeah, that's the main reason, and to kill the miscreants. And he had said, the main reason was that to give association to his devotees because he loves his devotees so much. But then why he is not here now? Because his pure devotees are now also. I said he is there in form of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, his holy names, deities. But he was not convinced. I don't know how to.
Well, if he is not convinced, then because you gave the right answer, that why Krishna is not coming now is because it's not yet time for him to come. At the end of Kali Yuga, Krishna will come as Kalki, and that time he's going to destroy everybody. But right now, Krishna has appeared as the holy name. There's no difference between the holy name and Krishna. And those who actually eat the pudding, they'll know the taste of the pudding also. So, how much ever you keep saying that, oh, look at this pudding, it's so nice, just by looking you cannot know the taste. So you have to actually eat it to know the taste of the pudding. So, if you want to understand and realize that, yes, Krishna is non-different from the holy names, you actually literally have to chant it. Then it will be revealed. That is the only process. And there is no other shortcut to that. That is a basic fact. So what answer you have given is actually the right one, that Krishna has manifested in the form of, the holy names in this age of Kali. And just 500 years ago, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come and give us and taught us how to chant Hare Krishna mantra and how to lead the life of a devotee. So Mahaprabhu has come just 500 years ago. It's not too far away. Just 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya has come. So, it is up to us how much, faith we have in the revealed scriptures and to accept that. Sometimes we actually, imagine the kind of faith we have when we board a flight. We don't know the pilot personally, but we still have faith that, yes, this pilot will take us 35,000 feet above ground level and he will still land the plane very successfully. We have that faith when we board the flight. But do we know the pilot? Sometimes we don't even see the pilot. We don't even know who's flying the plane. But we have faith. We are sitting, in the air. We are suspended in mid-air. So much faith we have on an unknown person. Then why can't we have a little faith in the words of the Gita?
Wow, Mataji. Every word you say, I get so easily convinced. I hope someday I have that convincing power in my words.
Yeah, I'm just repeating what I've heard from Prabhupada. So that's what Prabhupada says. That is the tendency of our faith. That's the nature of our faith. But when it comes to God, no. I want God to come in front of me, only then I will believe. क्या भगवान को और कुछ करने का काम नहीं है क्या? Why will he come in front of you? And even if he comes in front of us, do we have the eyes to see God? We don't. God is actually right in front of us, but we have to have the right kind of eyes to see God.
Thank you so much, Didi.
Thank you. It was a very nice question, though. And I know it is very, very difficult to convince, but, we have to go on some kind of faith. And we are not talking about blind faith here. We are talking about, actual realized faith, which is very necessary for us to make any kind of, why do we go into university? Or, when we, register our children, or we ourselves, when we go into university, we do so much rigorous study to find out which is the best kind of university. And then we also struggle, after we do a research on which is the best university, we get, administered in there. And then we also slog like, anything to get good results, because it's not enough that there are very good professors in that university. It's just not enough. If we don't, work hard, then we will stay back only. So even though we are in the best of college or the best of university, we also have to do our best by trying to follow what the professors are teaching us. Only then we will come out as a proper graduate student. So if that is the criteria in the material world, to get a certificate that, yes, you've completed your degree, then there has to be some kind of, hard work done, even if you want to see God, no? Something has to be done. And somewhere it has to be started.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Usha.
Hare Krishna, Ushaji.
I have a quick question for you. In your last class, you mentioned 3 words, bhukti, mukti, and bhakti.
Yes.
And you said bhukti and mukti is very easy for God to give. He will give it easily. But
yes.
Bhakti, it's very difficult for God to give the bhakti. Why so? And how you will explain it?
Well, see, because bhakti means when we ask for material
I understand. Bhakti and mukti, I understand. I'm asking why it is difficult to give the bhakti.
Okay, why it is difficult for Krishna to give bhakti? Because when Krishna gives bhakti, he actually gives himself to the devotee. That is bhakti. So therefore Krishna, has to really, we have to really deserve to get Krishna. We have to really show that ardent desire within us so that Krishna can give himself to us. Krishna giving bhakti means Krishna giving himself to us.
Okay. Very nice answer. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you. Very nice question. Thank you.